Josh Apter from the Padcaster at ISTE 2016 with Anthony Stirpe, the new recipient of the Digital Content and Curriculum Achievement Award. I can't believe I got that out without messing it up. And you're about to get your award in about an hour. How do you feel?
I'm very excited. I'm shocked, really, that I'm here. It's been a whirlwind because I've created this whole program where we're using iPads and iPhones to make movies using the Padcaster and soon to be using the Verse. And it's wild that so many people have looked at this program and seen the value it has for kids. So that's exciting.
No, that's great. And it's funny. So from what I've read it's an English program that somehow blossomed into a filmmaking program. How did it get from let's read, these books and write these papers to let's go make these movies?
Well, it started because the school was going to eliminate a script writing course and within the English department. And then I said, don't. What if I took it and I, did something more with it? That's where I got the idea of maybe making movies with iPhones. And I didn't even know if it was possible at the point. But I pitched it anyway, and they were like, yeah. Then I was really in trouble because I had to figure out how to do it.
But even then, how long ago was this? A couple years?
About 3 years ago.
People were shooting tons, the way we're shooting our video on a phone.
Yes.
It's the camera you have on you. It's like people were shooting all kinds of stuff.
And that's why I wanted to do it. You see kids making so many films with that are not appropriate with their phones. I was like, what if we bring value to this experience? What if we show kids that now, it's democratized. Anyone can do this. Anyone can make a movie if they get an idea. So the one thing they asked me with that class is, they didn't want it to be some fluff class, and they said they wanted it to be based in literature. So I just sat down and began to realize that all the ways that storytelling through film can tie into a general ed English curriculum, and all that planning that goes into it, all the writing of treatments, all the active reading. I mean, I taught English for 13 years, mainstream English. I could never get kids to proofread their work. Now all of a sudden, I can get them to read their scripts 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and I'm like, stop reading it. It's interesting to see all the skills that they're picking up through this program and this idea.
Well, and also the sense of ownership over something that is their baby and not just a paper that they have to hand in. You can see that it becomes more personal to them.
Yeah,
right?
even that. So all of our films are based on poetry, and they start with poems, and the kids explore those poems, and they perform them before they do their movies, before you watch their movies. And when you see the kids perform the poems, everybody stops me and says, those kids understand that in a way that I've never seen kids pick apart a poem. And they're right, because they live it in a very different way. I truly believe it's the future of English education, if people allow it. Because the other thing you get into is your coworkers stand around you, and they're like, oh, look at him, he's playing with iPads again. And it's hard to get past that stereotype of kids playing with no, they're doing something significant with that right now.
And if they're directed properly, that we had a class at Manhattan Edit Workshop, which is, I guess that's how you found us, through my film editing school, that was called From You to YouTube, and it was meant for high schoolers, and no one was signing up. And we go, what's the problem? It's a great class. It's like from idea to delivery, and we found out that's a bad word. YouTube is it's very taboo. Teachers don't want their students having anything to do with it, especially not in school. And we didn't know, because we're not in a broader school system, that it was kind of a bad thing. And so we changed the class, and suddenly trained MSG Varsity came in, and we trained 500.
It's a great program.
Yeah. So the football coach, and it was now a head of the AV department. And
the most important part in, I think, their process is the actual publishing of their work and putting it out there. And so I make a firm argument with my district, until recently YouTube was blocked for most of the people at our district. And it's no, we have to have access to it, but the kids also have to be able to publish their work, because after they go through and they make these pieces, getting it online, sending it out to their friends, that's where you see them truly own it. And that's where you really see the excitement. And you see the excitement from the community. The community comments on the videos, and those go around. I mean, I got an email from a parent today who's a parent, I don't even know her. She watched one of our videos, and she was like, I was so impressed with the work that the kids did, and I guess her son was somehow involved with one of the projects. I still don't know who it is, but they're reaching out because they're finding them on YouTube. And so it creates this sense of community that is great to see, and I think is important, because I even think we're losing that a little bit in our high schools. So this program's also bringing that back. So, and we met because I reached out to you to find out if you could in fact make a movie on an iPad. That's how I first met you.
Sure. What do you mean? I do it all the time. Now the thing is, like, would you ever consider? It's not the same community, but Vimeo is sort of like the thinking man's YouTube.
Yes.
You could have the kids get a free WordPress template, and Jane Stirpe, who's one of your students, could have janestirpe.com, a very simple WordPress or Wix template that then they could embed that Vimeo video in. Is that a value add to them, or is YouTube sort of the community that they want to be a part of when they share their video?
That's actually my goal. That's one of my goals. I had it this year. The problem is you get into a lot of bureaucracy. So I have to get in there, and people are willing. I'm not meeting necessarily hesitation, but school districts are big. Ours is especially big. And when you're negotiating all those people to figure out what kid can have what, and how are the parents going to sign off of it, and all of that kind of got in the way this year. And some of those companies, when you reach out to them, the kids aren't 18, so then that's a whole other level. So that's my goal, though, because I would love each kid who goes through my program will have written a movie, and then they come back and star in them their junior year. And so then I would love for their senior year for them to be able to put together a portfolio using a site like that uses all of that has a collection of everything that they did.
I would think it would have value for college applications to say,
absolutely.
Not only do I understand storytelling and the work it takes to put this together, but I understand, like, here's my visual portfolio, here's a link, take a look, and I would imagine it would be very helpful.
Sure, and the interesting thing is my kids now are going off into filmmaking. I'm being told that they're way ahead of their classmates, which is fantastic. They're like, the only thing we have to teach them how to use is a traditional camera. And the funny thing is, even their professors are like, I don't know how long that traditional camera is actually going to be around. They're telling the students that they're a step ahead too. So they are going to college with this portfolio of work ahead of the game. And I think ahead of the curve, because I think that this is where we're heading.
Well, a lot of the disciplines are also not hardware or technology dependent. Recording good sound it's a technique that doesn't matter if you're shooting on an iPad or shooting on an Alexa. Good sound's good sound.
Yep.
Optics, exposure, framing, storytelling.
Yep.
And the reason that this to me seems like a good tool for students is it looks and feels, it's a sketch pad. If you screw up, you swipe to the left and it's gone, and it doesn't cost hundreds of dollars like
exactly.
it did in the
and
days
they
of
can
film.
afford it, and that's the big thing. They can afford it, and I think that the kids should be able to walk away and know, I can do this. I can do this now that I've learned this without Mr. Stirpe. I can do this. I can make movies, and they are. And I think that's the most important thing. And as the technology updates, they're right there with it. They know what to do next and how to adjust. And so it's exciting to see the kids have that power.
Well, I've worked a little bit with them, with the Chancellor piece that you did. They were in our Kickstarter video. They're super sharp, on the ball. So congratulations on the Digital Content Curriculum Achievement Award that you're about to receive in about 50 minutes.
And next year we're getting the 2016-17 New York State English Program of Excellence from the New York State English Council. So
we talked about that on our website already. Is that cool? Or is that okay?
Yeah. They did not say not to say it. You did not say not to say anything.
Just in case you get mad. We just didn't know.
I'm
so
do a great presentation when I get there, so they can't get angry.
What are you going to say when you can tell, because no one's going to see this till after the award. What are you going to say? Do you have a speech prepared?
Oh, absolutely not. I have no speech. These things always catch me off guard. I'm going to be like, thanks. I'm awful at moments like that. It's sort of, that's weird, right? Because I should be better.
You could just say, like, I'm glad I put on the blue rhino tie.
That's right. I just dropped mic.
Blue Rhino tie. Hit it, y'all. I can't drop the mic because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt Sarah's ears if I do it too much. All right, well, thanks. I can't say how proud I am. I'm a little teary. And then we get to hang out at ISTE. This was such a shock because we have to be here. Yes. You don't.
I know. So and thank you for everything. Get a lot of Padcasters because they changed my life.
Changed the man's life.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not just a cheap plug. That's the truth.
That's a very expensive plug.
That's
All right, we're done for now, and we'll figure out a way to get out of this interview sooner or later.